Nelson Mandela taking a stand for freedom. There is no passion to be found playing small and settling for a life that is less than the one you are capable of living. Nelson Mandela. On July 18, 1918, Nelson Mandela was born in Mvezo Transkei in South Africa. Mandela was a great man who believed that every man and woman of any race deserves equal rights. He spent his life fighting the apartheid law that plagued his nation. Apartheid is a policy or system of segregation or discrimination on race.
Against the South African government's strict apartheid policies flare into shocking violence. At Sharpsville, an industrial township, thousands gather outside a police station in protest against new laws requiring every African to carry a pass at all times. The crowd refused to disperse and began stoning the police, who opened fire into the crowd from behind a wire fence.
In 1948, the National Party that supported apartheid won the election in South Africa. They began establishing apartheid laws. In Mandela's time, colored South Africans were treated as lesser humans compared to whites who came from Europe, and all government actions revolved around the idea of apartheid. In 1942, Mandela began attending meetings of the African National Congress, or ANC. This organization, founded in 1912, worked to gain rights for colored Africans. 2 years later, Mandela joined the group and helped establish the African National Congress Youth League, or ANCYL. The purpose of this league was to encourage young people to fight against segregation. After that, Mandela partnered with Oliver Tambo, a politician and anti-apartheid activist, to establish South Africa's first black-run law firm. Mandela was upset that black South Africans would face great legal troubles if they did something as simple as drink from an all-white water fountain. Tambo and Mandela defended people like this because they found white lawyers charged more to black Africans and often lost their cases on purpose. Nelson Mandela said, "Why is it that in this courtroom I face a white magistrate, am confronted by a white prosecutor, and escorted into the dock by a white orderly? Can anyone honestly and seriously suggest that in this type of atmosphere, the scales of justice are evenly balanced?" Tambo agreed, and together they created their very own law firm. In 1960, the African National Congress was banned. In January 1962, Mandela snuck out of the country to gain support for the ANC. He later returned to South Africa in July. Months later, Mandela was put on trial in Pretoria. Dr. Percy Uttar, the prosecutor, called the case State versus the National High Command and others. He then proceeded to charge Mandela of sabotage and conspiracy. Mandela received a 5-year prison sentence for leaving the country illegally and motivating colored workers to strike. In 1964, he was sentenced to life in prison without parole. This was considered mercy, as the normal sentence would be death. After the trial, he gave this speech and was taken to Robben Island prison.
Our fight is against real and not imaginary hardships, or to use the language of the state prosecutor, so-called hardships. South Africa is the richest country in Africa and could be one of the richest countries in the world. But it is a land of extremes and remarkable contrasts. The whites enjoy what may well be the highest standard of living in the world, whilst Africans live in poverty and misery. Poverty goes hand in hand with malnutrition and disease.
Mandela was transferred to Pollsmoor, a maximum security prison in southern Cape Town, in 1982, and was moved again in 1988 to Victor Verster Prison. In 1989, F.W. de Klerk was elected president. In February 1990, de Klerk lifted the ban on the ANC and released Mandela. After his release, he gave this speech.
Comrades,
and freedom for all. I stand here before you not as a prophet, but as a humble servant of you, the people. Your tireless and heroic sacrifices have made it possible for me to be here today. I therefore place the remaining years of my life in your hands.
And won the Nobel Peace Prize in 1993 for his work for the peaceful end of apartheid. South Africa held its first democratic presidential election in 1994 and elected Nelson Mandela. As president, he had to try to reconstruct a society that had been unequal for about 45 years. During Mandela's term as president, he worked to bring blacks and whites closer together and create friendship between them. One major way he did this was through sport. This method especially united people when South Africa won the Rugby World Cup and Mandela presented the award. This is the speech Mandela gave after he won the election.
Bridge the chasms that divide us has come. The time to build is upon us. We have at last achieved our political emancipation. We pledge ourselves to liberate all our people from the continuing bondage of poverty, deprivation, suffering, gender, and other discrimination. We commit ourselves to the construction of a complete, just, and lasting peace. We understand it still that there is no easy road to freedom. We know it well that none of us acting alone can achieve success. We must therefore act together as a united people for national reconciliation, for nation building, for the birth of a new world. Let there be justice for all. Let there be peace for all.
Mandela stayed in office for one term as president. Along with other activists, he created the Elders, which is an organization full of world leaders that work to keep peace and human rights. In 1995, Mandela's first book, a biography, Long Walk to Freedom, was published. On October 11, 2010, Mandela's second book, Conversations with Myself, was published. On December 5, 2013, at the age of 95, Nelson Mandela died.
What do we say to you, Mandela, in these days, the last final moments together before you exit the public stage? Mandela, your abundant reserves of love, simplicity, honesty, service, humility, care, courage, foresight, patience, tolerance, equality, justice.
Former President Obama said that Mandela achieved more than could be expected of any man, and today he's gone home. We've lost one of the most influential, courageous, and profoundly good human beings that any of us will ever share time with on this earth. He no longer belongs to us, he belongs to the ages. I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. Nelson Mandela.